How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you. You're Annie.
Yes. And is it
Awesome.
Shelleen?
Yep, that's it.
All right.
Ooh, look at all those pretty fall colors and the floral. Oh my goodness. That's very pretty.
Thank you. I actually did work really hard on it.
I love it. I know. I was like, I thought I worked really hard just putting one flower down. I need something cuter. I always like looking at people's backgrounds in meetings and like I always get a lot of clients with really pretty like wallpaper and it makes me want to buy wallpaper. Something.
Okay, to start off, we'll just kind of do a get to know you. So tell me about you. First of all, are those blue screen glasses?
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
They're prescription, but they've got like the blue light blocking.
Oh,
You can tell they're
nice.
prescription because my eyes are not this big. I just have terrible vision. It like magnifies my eyes like crazy.
Well, I like it. I got my kids
Thank you.
each blue light glasses. Not that they wear them, but they have them.
That's a good idea. Maybe I should get those for my son. He gets a lot of eye fatigue and
Yeah.
I usually just make him get off, but because he's young enough, but he thinks glasses are really cool. He has a pair of my old ones with like the lenses punched out, so he would probably think the blue light ones are so cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So tell me about you. You have a son, and how old is he?
He's 6. He's in first grade, so he's in all day school. One boy, married, been married for 12 years. Yeah, I've been an Applicant Pro about a year and a half, fairly new-ish to the company, transitioned over to a new team. I love Applicant Pro. It started as like a part-time gig that I was just gonna pick up, and then I loved it, and I love all the people, and it's such like a healthy culture that I started doing it full time and now it's my career. Who would have thought? I swore I would never go back to school. And then a year into Applicant Pro, I was like, I love this so much that I just want to continue. So I even like went back to school for business, which is so weird, just because I never thought that I would love Applicant Pro so much, but it's so great.
So tell me
Yeah.
what you like to do when you're not working. Like, what are your hobbies, likes, dislikes?
I'm a cycling instructor. So
Oh,
I like to
cool.
cycle. I like indoor, outdoor hiking. My family and I love to camp. My husband, son, and I, we have a camp trailer, so we go out a lot, watch movies.
What's your favorite movie?
I don't know if I could pick a favorite, but I have like a horror movie fascination. So I like all things spooky. I really like every scary movie that there is. Probably my favorite movie is The Village.
That's a good
I just
one.
got
Just give me a brief overview of like your high school education, what your interests were, kind of like a timeline of like just all the basic information.
from like high school. Is that what you said? High school
Yeah.
on. I started working when I was 14, and it wasn't legal, but they paid me under the table. So I cleaned hotel rooms at Motel 6. Was
Nice.
gross and sketchy, and I made it a summer, and then I decided that I needed to do something else. So then I was a lifeguard through high school. I waited tables at a truck stop. So I grew up in northeastern Nevada. There's like a little podunk town that is mostly one stoplight, and it's just like a flashing four-way, but we got a lot of truckers that would come through and things because it's right off of a major highway. So I worked at a truck stop, gas station. This was like a Flying J restaurant. And I just kind of found a passion for healthcare when I was in high school. Really liked anatomy and physiology. I thought for sure I was going to be something in the healthcare field. So when I graduated, I jumped right in, got my medical assisting degree. It's like an associate's in science of medical specialties and jumped right into the healthcare field working at Intermountain Healthcare. So I did that for 9 years. I started on the psych unit inpatient, and then I moved to Instacare. And I just got really burned out. I had my son, 6+ years ago, and decided I'm not going back. And then, COVID hit, and I was like, yeah, definitely not going back. So then it was like, well, now what do I do? So I did some odds and ends jobs, like at home. I did people's makeup on the side where they'd come to my house and they'd pay me just something to make ends meet. And then I ended up getting a job with a makeup company. And I won't say the name because it was not a good experience. The company culture was awful. Something they said a lot, which is like, we're like a family. And now that's like nails on a chalkboard to me because I'm like, oh, got it. So you're toxic. So now when I hear that, I'm like, "Ah, so you're going to overwork me, underpay me, and take advantage of me. Got it." Ended up pretty much up and quitting because I just couldn't handle it anymore. My mental health was shot after 2 years of being there, which is a long time. Decided, I got to look for something else. We rent out our basement to someone that works at Applicant Pro, and I knew she worked at Applicant Pro. She's lived with us for many years. She posted about it on her Facebook, and I was like, I'm gonna try it. Applied and got it, and it's been just wonderful ever since. I really thought, I mean, I've been a cycling instructor for a couple years. That was just kind of a side gig. There's no way to like have a career in that unless you're going to teach, 10 times a day. And who's going to do that? So I thought, I'll keep my cycling and then I will do Applicant Pro on the side. It'll be just something that I can use as an interim while I look for the new direction that my career is going to take. Got into it, decided that I love it, increased to full time shortly within, like 2 months of being hired. I was made the manager of my team that I joined, which was terrifying and wonderful all at the same time. And then, recently was pulled onto a new team, just loving it, loving it. I love that Applicant Pros always had such great standards as far as work-life balance. Family comes first. They've always seen something in me that I didn't see myself with promotions and just encouraging me to always learn and stay hungry. And so that's been my career story.
What job did you apply for first with Applicant Pro?
I started as an SPS, so sales processing specialist, basically a scheduler. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think I applied. I didn't get hired for what I applied for. I don't remember what I applied for. I think a job poster. Yeah. And my preview score, like the assessment, showed that I would not be happy there. But I scored really high on SPS. So they pulled my application. Yeah. And then had me interview for that one instead.
Don't you like that they do that assessment?
Oh my gosh, I love it so much.
It's like, wait, you know better than I do what I'm going to like?
Exactly. Yeah. And I was like, really? Are you sure? I got into it. I'm like, oh, yeah, they're right. How did they know? How did they know?
You didn't get the job you applied for. That's so funny because when I applied, I was like, I'm applying for everything.
I know, right? So did I.
I've been looking for so long for a remote part-time job because, remote's really big right now because of COVID.
Yeah.
And that's flexible. And every time I heard about one that said it was flexible, it wasn't really flexible. They really want you like in your office from 8 to 5. And I'm like, I got kids to pick up. I got kids walking
I have
in.
a life.
Right. And so it was actually Carrie Ann that told me to apply at Applicant Pro. And I was like,
oh, I love that.
I was like, wait, they actually advertise that it's flexible hours and it's remote and it's part-time and it's like everything
can you believe it?
Dreaming of. I was like, everything, because I didn't know what they would hire me for, but
I think that's why I resisted applying for so long. Like I knew Sheila worked there. I saw she'd share postings, but I was always like, that's too good to be true. And then when I got into it, I was like, it is too good to be true, but it's real. Like,
So then what you're doing now is
client success.
And did you come straight from SPS to this?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So as the manager on SPS, and then Randy, who's so sweet, always looking out for me. He was like, you should look at client success. I'm going to talk to Shauna for you. And I'm like, Randy, no, I'm scared. But then, he was right.
And Shauna's amazing. She was my first interview.
I love her. I believe it. I'm sure she was the first to sign up too. She is the best.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I think
love
actually
her.
Someone else was supposed to be the first one, but then they ended up having to reschedule. So it was close. It was a close call.
Worked out. She's wonderful. She's an amazing person, but she's a really good manager.
So, but back to you. When you were working, sorry, you're going to have to tell me what it stands for again.
I know. SPS. You can just call it SPS.
SPS. Okay. When you were doing that, how long were you doing that for again?
Oh, like a year and 3 months, maybe.
So you're like brand new to client success.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm very new. I just started fully in August. So,
oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Brand new on this team.
When you were working SPS, did it occur to you that you could go and like do something else and kind of like move up?
Yeah, and that's a huge reason I went back to school, was because I knew the direction that I wanted to head in with Applicant Pro. And honestly, I got on LinkedIn and I looked at the people that were in the positions that I wanted. And I was like, oh, they all have a, educational background and it's not medical. I should probably learn more about business. Plus, I mean, I was made a manager within 2 months of working there, and I felt really under qualified. So that was also a huge reason I enrolled in schools, because I wanted to make sure that I was a successful manager and didn't sink the team.
Yeah.
So I knew I could move. I didn't expect to move so quickly both times that I did. But
If there's like a piece of advice that you could give people just starting out at Applicant Pro to further their career within the company, what would you say to them?
learn everything you can about Applicant Pro. I think that's huge. The system is so robust, and that help center, that search, FAQ is freaking amazing. Yeah, I think staying active on Workplace is huge. Just keeping up on your education in terms of that. Ryan always has something that we can be doing to learn and grow, books, things like that, and just maintaining relationships, but also not being afraid to step out of your comfort zone and expand. Something that I've tried to do is every month I go to the company meeting in person. I think I've only missed a couple times, but that has been a goal. If there's a company meeting and it's in person, I'm going, because I want to make connections with other people and I want to be able to put faces to names, and that would be my advice.
That's good advice.
Yeah. Good. Oh, good.
Were there any surprises working for them? I know you said that it's not too good to be true, even though it sounds like it is. That's a surprise, but was there anything else that you found?
I only had good surprises. You want me to list all the good things?
Yeah.
I mean, I had no clue about the house cleaning bonus. That blew my mind when Erica was like, let's set a goal. This is my first manager. Let's set a goal so you can earn house cleaning. I was like, what? What? That's so exciting. That absolutely blew my mind. Bonuses, I remember. So on SPS, we get bonuses, and it's like $25 for everything you schedule that they make it onto. And I remember she's like, how do you feel about the bonuses? And I asked her how much it was, and she said 25. And I think my jaw fell to the floor. I was expecting like $1, like $1 for each one. 25. So I guess just how generous they are. The insurance options were awesome. I switched my family onto our plan with Applicant Pro because it's so much better than what my husband is offered as a state employee. He's a police officer. Their benefits are crap. That was a pleasant surprise when we got our 401ks. There's just so many good things.
Are you planning on going further into the company?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super happy where I'm at, but growth is always nice. Why not? I'm always up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a position that you've seen other people have that you would be interested in?
It's hard because the position that I'm in right now was like my ultimate goal. Yeah, I really wanted to get on the ATS client success team and be able to set my own schedule and, still be in a sales position, but also get that relationship with people. I need to explore. I think I'm just so comfortable here, and that like I wanted it so bad once I was like, but I need to look into more. Yeah, that's a really good question. I should do some research.
So I know there's different, like you guys call them pods, right?
Yeah.
So are you directly under Shauna, or are you under a team lead under Shauna in a pod?
Directly under Shauna. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're on ATS.
So maybe they'll keep expanding and they'll have some team leaders in there, and
yeah, who knows? You never know. There's always something. I loved my manager role with SPS. That was so fun. That was great. Yeah, it was exhausting, but it was great.
yeah.
So that would be something I'd never shy away from. I just don't know if I would want to go down, back down,
Yeah.
you step in the wrong direction. But
Yeah.
regardless, managerial roles are awesome.
What does your day look like I mean, I know your son is in school, so are you able to take off when he gets home from school, or you pick him up and do you clock in later at night to get more work done once he's in sleep?
Yeah, that's a good question. It kind of varies. I usually am on by 8, get him to school by 9, and then I just crank out a ton of work between that and 3:30 when I have to pick him up again. Yeah, I typically try to wrap everything up so that when I'm picking him up, it's just he and I. We have that like solid hour and a half before my husband gets on. If I need to log back in after dinner, I will, but typically not much is needed. Or yeah, if I know it's an early out, I'll get on at 7 a.m. and then be done when I pick him up. So yeah, it's awesome.
I was going to say, does he even know you work?
I know, right? I mean, in the summer, holy crap. He drove me nuts. Like, you need to go to school. You're driving me crazy. Yeah, he's funny. If I ever get out my laptop, like at home, like for schoolwork and things, he's like, "Are you working?" Like, it's Saturday. I'm just doing homework. It's funny. He immediately knows if I get out that laptop that I'm probably working.
That's cute.
He thinks it's the coolest thing. I hear him in his room and he will pretend to answer phone calls. On SPS, we used to get the incoming phone calls if they were leads. And I would hear him go, "Jinka for Applicant Pro, this is Maverick." And I was like, oh. So he always calls it Applicant Pro. He can't get, but I think it's so freaking cute. And he'll pretend to work and he'll like pound on it like a little. Oh, it's my favorite. He'll open up books and pretend that they're laptop. Yeah, I think it's cute. So he knows I work. He just thinks it's really cool that I work from home. It is.
Yeah, it is. Does he ever remember you not working from home? Like I mean, away from the house. Yeah.
Yeah, he does remember bits and pieces. And I only worked like 4 hours a day out of the office or out of my home, but I had to drive all the way to North Orem, or South Orem, excuse me. So it was like a 45-minute commute. So to him, it was like 6 hours. Do you know what I mean? Of me being away. And he's so spoiled now that when I go to Cycle Bar and I'm gone for an hour, he's like, "I missed you." Like, dude, it was 1 hour. It's so funny. Or if I'm not there to pick him up after school for some reason, he's mad. He's so mad. He's like, I'll have him like walk home with the neighbors and he's mad when he comes in. "Where were you?" Like, oh my God. You are so spoiled. I was a latchkey kid, so like, gosh, you're so lucky.
Okay, have you ever thought about doing comedy on the side? Just curious.
Oh, you're so nice. Whatever.
Like, your impressions of him are so cute and funny. Oh man.
It's probably exact replica because he's like a little mini me, but sassy pants.
Yeah, I have a 6-year-old too, so I can imagine like what that looks like.
The attitude. What the heck? Like, you're something else, dude. Yeah.
If you were to talk to him about the difference of like when you worked away from the home versus now, would he be able to remember and like what that felt like? What do you think he would say? I think he'd be a lot happier with you working from home
Oh,
now.
yes. Yeah. We've talked about it before. Like, especially when he has issues with being noisy. If I'm on like a Zoom call and we'll talk about it, and I'll say, if you are noisy and loud and disruptive, mommy could lose her job. And do you remember when I used to have to go out of the house for work? You didn't get to see me as much. And he'd say, yeah. And, I don't like that. So he definitely remembers the contrast and does not want me to ever go back. He fights me just to come to Cycle Bar. He wants to go with me to Cycle Bar. So most of the time I have to bribe him to stay home with his dad. But, definitely remembers.
I just have one question left. It's my favorite one to ask. If you
Oh,
could tell yourself something back when you were in college, the first time, something that you know now that you didn't know then, what would it be?
oh, that's so hard. I think I always try not to think about that because I have such a huge chunk of debt from my medical degree. So I'm always like, oh. I mean, I would love to go say, hey, don't do that. But, all things happened for a reason that led me down this path. I don't know if it's possible to tweak it. I think I would go back to the time when I was super miserable trying to find my new career path between the medical field and Applicant Pro and just say, hang in there, it gets better. Or maybe look at Applicant Pro a couple of years earlier. Don't give up on, you can be a mom and have a career. I think that was something that I never knew was possible. And I think maybe that's a big reason I went into the medical field is because it was the only option that I knew where you could be a mom and still have a career. I always knew that I probably wasn't like the kind of person that would have a bunch of kids just because I'm not super compassionate with children. I love my own, but I knew I'd probably be a one or a two child person. I just knew like probably that my only options with that were being a nurse or, so maybe I'd go back then and just say, there's other options. You can do both. You don't have to, work a night shift on the psych unit. You could do other things. So,
Yeah, no, that was good. Yeah, I mean, it's typically a lot of people will say something to that effect where it's like, hey, hang in there. It's okay. Keep going.
yeah, gosh, so hard getting on that. Trying to figure it out. That's the worst.
And that's pretty much all I have. So I'll let you get back to your job. And thank
Yeah.
you so much for allowing me to interview you. It was really fun.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, it was great to meet you.
You too. Have a good day.
Thanks. You too.
Bye.